Hi. So we just went through, we did a little initial exam today. Okay. Everything's looking really great in the mouth. I want to applaud you on everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just to give you a heads up, you're moderate for your caries class, which is great. We can definitely talk about some tips though of how we can bring you down to a low caries risk. I know that you haven't had a cavity for more than 2 years, which is really great. I really want to applaud you on that. So starting off, do you know a lot about periodontal disease, Lisa?
I don't.
Don't? Okay, I'm going to kind of show you through this little chart here and kind of talk to you about periodontal disease and what it does to the oral cavity. Okay? So you are healthy, which is really great. That means that your teeth are adhering to your gums really well. They're really firm in the mouth. Your gums are really stippled and great and healthy. We really want to see that. That's great. You have no evidence of bone loss. Everything is really healthy all over. But it's really important to know that it can definitely quickly fall into a different stage of gingivitis. And we know that over 50% of Americans have gingivitis, so it's definitely something to be aware of and know that it's something that could happen. So, do you know anything about gingivitis?
Not really, no.
So, what it is it's meaning that the gums are starting to become inflamed, they're starting to become red, and they're just getting a little irritated. We don't want that. That means that the gums aren't as healthy as they should be throughout the mouth. So I'm going to kind of talk to you about what we can do to prevent gingivitis, and we're going to talk about overall cavities and stuff like that as well. Do you know a lot about cavity?
A little bit, not very much though.
Okay, so you know what's really great today? You brought in your daily tracker of your diet over the last week. So we can kind of go through, and I kind of circled in red all of the things that are going to have sugar in them. More importantly, hidden sugars. Okay. So do you know what a hidden sugar is?
No.
Meaning that it's something that you would think of to be healthy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not always going to break down the mouth in
So
the way
like
that
my
you.
almond milk?
Almond milk is such a great way of getting calcium and stuff like that. It definitely is a very healthy thing, and I don't want you to take that out of your diet, but I want you to realize that things like that and ketchup, for example, are going to have a lot of sugars in them.
Sure.
So they might come off as seeming like something healthy, but when they break down in the mouth, they actually have a lot of sugar in them.
Okay.
So another thing I noticed is that you have a lot of like toast in the morning, and that's toast with peanut butter is a great healthy breakfast. However, when the carbs in the body break down, they actually turn into a sugar.
Okay.
So sugar, obviously, we know people know sugar isn't great for your teeth, but did you know why the sugar is bad for a cavity?
No, not exactly.
So in the mouth, there's different things that form the cavity, and sugar, when formed with bacteria that everybody has in their mouth, becomes an acid. And the acid is what breaking down the teeth, and we call that demineralization. So I can show you this little picture here, but right here is showing the tooth starting to break down, and that's where the cavity is formed. I know you've had a cavity in the past, so I know that you've experienced this.
Yep.
But the sugar plus the bacteria, which some bacteria are great in the mouth, but some of them are harmful to our teeth, and that bacteria is what feeds the sugar is what feeds the bacteria, and that's what's forming the cavity in the mouth. So we want to try to limit our sugars. So even if it is something that might seem healthy, we might want to try to keep an eye on it and limit them down a little bit.
Sure.
Decrease some of these sugars because we have a couple things in the diet that have a lot of sugar in them. Another thing I want to talk to you about today too is that looking at all the different things that make up the diet and the saliva and all that can form the cavities. The other thing is saliva flow, and I know that you said you don't have dry mouth or anything like that. And I know you don't drink pop throughout the day, which is really great. However, you sip on your coffee throughout the day, and has anybody ever talked to you about maybe trying to make your meals all at one time versus throughout the day?
No.
So when you're sipping on that throughout the day, that bacteria just keeps living on the teeth and it doesn't have a chance to cleanse. So a thing that you can do is if you don't have a toothbrush right next to you can swish with water.
Okay.
And you can just take some water and swish it around your mouth, and that will help get some of that sugar and bacteria off your mouth, and that'll make you less susceptible to having a cavity form.
Okay.
So it's a great tool if you don't have a toothbrush by you.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. The other thing we want to talk about today too is I know you do incorporate a lot of vitamins and minerals into your diet as well, which is great. Those vitamins, especially in your almond milk, are going to have a lot of calcium, and this calcium is going to make the tooth stronger. So we want to try to keep up the vitamins and minerals in your mouth.
Sure.
And I know that you definitely incorporate those, so that's really great. I want to applaud you on that. The other thing I want to talk to you about today too is that looking around the mouth, I noticed that you do have erosion. Do you know anything about erosion?
No, not really. Not a whole lot.
So erosion means that the tooth is slowly, it's a slow process, but it's definitely important to know about that. Acidity in your foods that you're eating are slowly starting to take away the layers of the enamel in the tooth. Um, we obviously don't want that. The enamel is what keeps the tooth sound, and it keeps it from not breaking down and not forming cavities or rotting the tooth. So even those things that you would think are really healthy are going to have a lot of acidity in them. So I know that you like to have a glass of red wine, and I know that you eat a lot of salads with salad dressing on them, and you love fruit and ketchup. All those things are going to be really high in acidity. And I have this chart for you. You can take home with you today, and it kind of shows you all the different acidity in different foods. It's important that you realize that even though it's something that's really healthy for the body, it might have a really high acidity rate. And the reason that that's important is because we're starting to see evidence in your mouth of a little bit of slight erosion, and I really want you to be aware of it so you can combat it, and we can try to stop this before it becomes an issue.
Okay.
So just being aware of things in the mouth that cause that breaking down. So maybe limiting, instead of squeezing that lemon into your water like you do, you could eliminate something like that.
Sure.
Probably. Does that sound like a good goal? Or
Definitely.
I know that you said you like to drink a lot of, you like to drink a lot of coffee throughout the day with creamer in it. Instead of just sipping on that cream, that coffee throughout the day like we talked about, we could switch with water, like we said. That would help bring the acidity down. But we really want to try to make it as healthy environment inside the mouth as we can. So we want it to be about a 7. And you can kind of see on this chart here that um, ketchup is at like a 3, and the wine is at like a 3 as well. So when you're sipping on those, you're bringing that mouth down to a 3, and it doesn't have a chance to get back up to the 7.
Okay.
So if you try to have the wine with mealtime, if we try to have the salad dressing just with meal times and not throughout the day as snacks, all those things are going to help bring the oral cavity back up to a 7.
Okay.
Where we want it to be. Does that sound like a goal we could work on?
Yeah, it does.
So less snacking and more mealtime foods are going to be a great recommendation for you for a little bit happier sound mouth. The other thing I want to talk to you about before you take off today is fluoride. I know you like to do the mouth rinse at home. The one that you have currently, though, I think we talked about earlier, doesn't have any fluoride in it. So find one that has fluoride in it would be a great additional step in your diet. It's going to help make the teeth a little bit stronger as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So sound great?
Yeah, that does.
All right, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Today.